It's so good James Gunn wanted to rush Superman onto streaming so everybody could get ready for the upcoming Peacemaker Season 2, because everywhere you look, man, everybody's talking about Peacemaker. Everybody's hanging on the edge of their seat for every episode that's coming out. And oh my god, like this most recent one that came out last week is like the greatest thing that's ever happened to the DCU. But in actuality, there's 2 episodes left and nobody's talking about this show at all whatsoever. And all of the hype this series got in the lead up to the season premiere, I think that it's fairly emblematic of what essentially the DCU under James Gunn. A lot of hype and a lot of under delivery, if we're going to keep it a buck, because as we'll discuss over the weekend, yeah, we're finally starting to get that turn on Superman, and it's coming along right on schedule. And about this time next year, after Supergirl bombs and Clayface kind of comes and goes, is anybody really going to have faith in James Gunn heading towards 2027's Man of Tomorrow? Or are they more or less going to be concerned with Matt Reeves' Batman Part 2? But yeah, like I said, we'll touch on that stuff in the next couple of days, because that's an interesting kettle of fish in and of itself. But yes, in an attempt to reignite some sort of conversation around Peacemaker Season 2, James Gunn is out there once again on the interview circuit because, heaven forbid, you can't have, like, John Cena out there, somebody who actually knows how to handle the media, somebody who is charismatic, doesn't make you want to gouge your eyeballs out whenever you have to decipher the corporate doublespeak as to what exactly is going on with a given project. But yeah, Gunn's out there once again trying to get everybody excited. Okay, he doesn't have anything to just force out on streaming in order to inflate enthusiasm for the series finale in a couple weeks' time. But yes, Gunn teases some Peacemaker characters will continue in another DC... who gives a shit, man? It's not exactly Peacemaker 3, because is there going to be a 3rd season of Peacemaker? Does anybody really care if there's going to be a 3rd season of Peacemaker? Viewership was up 22% for the season premiere. Now, what exactly does that mean? But after the pivotal episode 6, all right, well, they realized that the real enemy is racism. But it's interesting, right? Because I heard a little of this brought up in a very brief discussion where it's interesting, right? Because there's been several different projects that have been out there that have depicted this very homogeneic society. Let's just go ahead and say that's an appropriate term. This very utopian society, completely bereft of a certain group of people. And if several different creators come to the conclusion that that's what they want to depict as being the antagonist, it's like, oh, okay, cool. You want to depict like a utopian society, but they're all of a singular race. You guys kind of have some deep-seated issues that you need to kind of work out in and of yourself, and not understanding that, yeah, races can coexist together, but okay, I guess that to each their own. So yeah, that was the whole pivotal revelation, right? But yes, Peacemaker, which bridged the series to the next Superman movie. Oh yeah, right, because Lex Luthor was also, that's a still from the show, because Lex Luthor had to talk about how he was getting butt fucked and like, it's so fucking juvenile and stupid. You're gonna find out more in episode 8, because it's not necessarily that. Talking about, the future of vigilante Christopher Smith. Oh my god, you're gonna find out more. Yeah, in episode 8, it's not necessarily that. Some of the characters will continue, but also it's not exactly Peacemaker 3. I'm not ruling it out. You'll see in episode 8, and maybe you'll find out a little bit more. You're not ruling out a 3rd season for Peacemaker. Well, we haven't got an update, really, any official update after that very, very impressive season premiere, which kind of lets me know that not a lot of people are watching this, okay? That's just kind of in line with all of the anecdotal evidence that's out there. For quite some time, Gunn has been planning a Peacemaker spinoff based on Viola Davis's Suicide Squad boss, Amanda Waller. Yeah, because the DCU is supposed to be a total reset from the DCEU, except, of course, all the stuff that James Gunn likes, like Amanda Waller and Peacemaker. But anyways, development on that series has been a slow go. Also, since John Cena's Chris Smith as his doppelganger in the other verse, which we learned is an Aryan utopia, which could be his father Augie. Yes, Robert Patrick is actually alive. That it was an Augie clone who Chris killed at the end of season 1. I legitimately don't care, man. All of this stuff is just convoluted bullshit. But I think probably the biggest takeaway from this is, James Gunn was also asked about the Authority movie, which was supposed to be, remember, when you go all the way back to when he debuted his vision for the DCU, the Authority was supposed to be the second movie out, but now it's been kicked down the road so far. It doesn't even have a tentative release date, and in fact, it's very heavily speculated that it's one of those trashed projects. But here's an update, I guess. The DC press conference back in February, he mentioned that the Anti-Heroes IP, was the hardest one to crack, given how other DC projects, including Superman, which he also talked about was a tough nut to crack, has stepped on the Authority's toes. It's the one that got messed up with all the other things that were happening. The script has a harder time coming along. Gunn tells Deadline that the Authority is not kaput. There's someone who is a really good character. A really good creator who talked to me the other day. Oh, okay, cool. So we got somebody asking about the Authority, so that means that the Authority is still definitely on. Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a part of Phase Stage. I don't know, man. Who gives a shit at this point in time? Because the DCU is honestly on life support. July was supposed to reinvigorate the superhero genre, but in actuality, it was the first draft of an obituary, because while nobody's talking about season 2 of Peacemaker, probably the biggest piece of news about the series so far is that a Fortnite emote has been pulled, and this is the most viral thing associated with this goddamn IP right now, because he throws up a swastika. I'm not even joking, man. Fortnite pulls controversial Peacemaker dance emote after the show's big plot twist. The one about the Aryan utopia. Well, we can just go ahead and show you what the dance looks like. Don't need any sound or anything like that. But this is the one that was up there and then got pulled. Okay, because as you can see, this one's called Happy Hips or some shit like that, and it's like, all right, I don't really know what's wrong, but if you just stop and pause at a couple different places, okay, let's just throw it up here for a second, and there you go. That right there is the controversial part, apparently. But James Gunn captivated audience with a musical intro to Peacemaker. Did he really? A video sequence set to wigwams. Oh, yeah. Do you want to taste it? Yeah, that's probably in reference to... That's another thing that I've heard about this. A whole bunch of cock swinging and bisexual orgies. A great sequel to your PG-13 rated Superman movie. But anyways, it's accumulated more than 20 million views on YouTube, I guess. So a Gunn thought to match the energy of Peacemaker Season 2 with a new sequence set to Foxy Shazam's Oh Lord. Okay, those are just a bunch of words. James Gunn likes music, guys. Do you know? Fortnite sought to tap into the excitement of Peacemaker Season 2. Sure. A debut in August. Okay, and the launch of Peacemaker's cosmetic set and a Peaceful Hips emote. That's what it's called, based on the first few seconds of the intro performed by Peacemaker. Okay, so Epic Games announced on September 28th. So this has been out for, the better part of a month? And now just all of a sudden, now it's an issue. Kind of lets you know just how few people are actually paying attention to this shit. Even in Fortnite, for Christ's sakes. A Fortnite dance. But yes, however, Epic Games announced September 28th that it is disabling the emote and issuing refunds as it tries to ascertain the intentions behind the dance moves in the light of the big plot twist in Season 2, Episode 6, Ignorance is Chris. So yeah, this is something that's been going on for a month, and now all of a sudden it's a problem. I think that's a bigger issue and a bigger revelation than just simply taking down the dance to begin with. It's been around for a month, and now people are finally getting around to this. Kind of lets you know the current audience for Peacemaker, how culturally relevant this series is, and the overall health of James Gunn and the DCU. Series wraps up in 2 weeks. I wonder how many people are going to be talking about it a month from now. By the end of October, is anybody even going to remember this series came by? I don't know, man. They might reference the band Fortnite dance, though. What a legacy. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.